We are back with the Minecraft Bedrock Guide 1.21, and there's these axolotls, man, I swear. I'm really excited about what's happening in today's episode, because we're going to take on a fun project that's going to open up a whole lot for us in this world. And that project has to do with what we found up here in episode 2, which is the zombie mob spawner. We are going to be going over everything spawners today. I got some pretty cool tips, tricks, and information to share with you that is going to help you not only just make a spawner farm, but you'll know everything that there is to know about them, so you can make your spawner farm however you want. But first things first, I have my my Fortune 3 pickaxe in my hand. If you guys remember, I did tell you that you can use this on crops. We have a few rows of potatoes here, all the way grown up. And if I use this Fortune 3 pick on these potatoes, we are going to get an absolute ton of them. Now, I am also right beside a whole bunch of wheat. Unfortunately, you cannot get the fortune effect on the wheat. For some reason, you get it on the seeds instead. So if you want a lot of seeds for some reason, then sure. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. But look at that. We got 7 and a little bit stacks of potatoes here. I'm going to go ahead and replant. That way we have them here growing again. You can never have too many potatoes. That's what I always say. Also, we have some sugarcane to harvest. You don't get anything for using fortune on sugarcane, but it takes a little while to grow. So it's good whenever it's ready to harvest. Just go ahead and harvest it, which we're doing. We'll go ahead and dump all this into the chest. And there's a little something I would like to do before we actually start working on the spawner farm. Blue Jay keeps calling me over for like miscellaneous things. And when he does this, it's a pain in the butt to get over to him. You guys remember, what was this, episode 2? I think we made the trail. And it's a nice trail to be sure, but it only takes us to the shore, which I have been using it quite a lot for that. But we also need to be able to get to Blue Jay. And he's like that way. And there's just a lot of terrain to traverse, and there's a ton of trees in the way. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start carving a path and maybe make it a little bit easier to get through. To get to him, and it'll give us a chance to use our diamond axe as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that carved out of the way so we have nice easy access to our neighbor. And there we go. I think he's got some things up over there that he has not shown off in episode yet. So just in case mine comes out before his, I'm not going to go over there, but he's got some cool stuff going on. It's a rough path. It could definitely use some work, but I think for now it works. It at least gives me a way to know how to get there through the forest without having to, like, I'm already lost. Oh, here it is. Without me having to fight through the trees so much and all of the mess that came along with that. Okay, so we're back. Here's a spawner, and there's a few different types of spawners that you'll find in the world. In the overworld, you'll find these guys, which is a zombie spawner. You can find a skeleton spawner, a spider spawner, and a cave spider spawner. And then when you go to the nether, which we have not done yet, you can also find a blaze spawner and a magma cube spawner. That's it. Those are all the different types of spawners that exist in regular vanilla Minecraft. Now, this spawner works in a few different ways. First of all, it will only spawn things in an area where the light level is 0. So we throw a torch down, it can't spawn. And I think just because of these glow berries here, it might be bright enough here to where it can't spawn anything anyways, which is why we didn't run into any zombies when we first came up here. But if you get rid of all of that light, let's see. Nope, not dark enough. If I pick some of these glow berries off, yep, now you see we do have zombies spawning. And I don't have a torch on my hotbar. There we go. Okay, gets dark enough, zombies will spawn. Now, there's a few basic rules about mob spawners that you need to know about. We're going to go over them as we set this up. And we're going to start with how big the area around this needs to be. How far away can mobs spawn from the spawner? Well, they can spawn 4 blocks out in each direction in a diamond-like pattern, and then 1 block above and 1 block below. So let me carve that part out first. And here you go. Here's the spawnable area. It's a diamond shape, and it goes 1 block below and 1 block above the spawner. Now, I should also note, do not break this. Don't do it. Breaking spawners is illegal in Minecraft because once you break it, you can't get it back. It's always best to just place a torch on it and turn it off, because you never know when you or somebody else in your world might want to use one. Do not break them. You will get arrested by the Minecraft police. I swear, it's what happens. Now, the next piece of advice I'm going to give you is working with the diamond shape is a little bit of a pain in the butt. Also, you want to have a little bit of headroom for the mobs to be able to spawn in. Since their feet can spawn right here, you want to have a little bit of room above their head. So the height of this room actually right now is already perfect. So we're going to carve everything out to this height. Another thing though is that it's actually kind of hard to work with this diamond shape when it comes to flushing out the mobs, moving the mobs to where you want to move them to. So instead of leaving it a diamond shape, we're just going to go ahead and carve it into a square, which actually matches Java Edition spawning, because Java Edition will spawn in the whole square, whereas Bedrock Edition only spawns in this diamond. So I'm just going to go ahead and carve this square out, and then we'll talk about the next step of where you got to go. Okay, the next thing to talk about with this guy is the spawner cap. There is a mob cap for the spawner, and there's a range in which the spawner will check for that mob cap. Basically, it will keep spawning zombies until there are 6 zombies in the area of the spawner, the detection range. That detection range is 8 blocks horizontally. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it can detect other zombies within 8 blocks this way, and then 4 blocks vertically. So this would be block 1, block 2, block 3, and block 4. So if a zombie is anywhere in that range, if there's 6 of them, this thing stops spawning things. Now, the quickest way to clear the cap is to just drop the zombies out of the cap. Basically, we're just going to shoot them straight down, and they're going to fall out of the cap as they spawn in. This way, it never matters how fast we kill the zombies because they'll always be out of the cap instantly. This is the best way to make a zombie spawner farm. From that point, we can do whatever we want, however we want with the zombies. Now, we do want to make sure that they leave the cap completely. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go another 1, 2, 3 blocks below that 4 block detection range. That will ensure us 100% of the time when those zombies fall, they are outside of the range. So you're going to want to go that 7 blocks below the spawner. I'm going to go ahead and dig that area out now. Now that we have our hole, the next thing we need to do is move these guys. Yeah, they need to be moved out of this area. They don't do as much good just sitting down here. So we're going to move them to this direction, because over here, I believe, is where I want to put our killing chamber that we're going to end up making. And we're going to move them with water, because moving them with water is probably the easiest way to get mobs to move around short distances. Now, one important thing to know with water is that there is kind of 2 forms that it can be in. There's the source block, that's where we place the water down. And then there is the flowing water. But you can actually make more source blocks by putting a source block down, skipping 1 space in between, and putting another source block right beside it. Now all 3 of these are source blocks, which means if we pick this one up, it will automatically make another source block right there. So now we can go through and I can place another one right here, skipping this space, and then all of these will be source blocks. I can then grab this one right here, move over, skip a space. Now they're all source blocks, and I can do that one more time right here. And now we have a full row of water source blocks. Now water will flow 8 blocks long, this being the first block, going all the way down here, this being the 8th block. This one didn't flow quite as far because we have a block there in the way. That's just for us to get up and down easily for now. We'll move that later. Now, what's going to happen is those zombies, when they fall, they're going to get pushed by the water this way. Now, if we drop them down a single block like this, what'll happen is sometimes they'll try to hop back up here. We don't want to give them the chance to do that. Again, it doesn't necessarily matter. The mob cap has been cleared either way, but if we can give ourselves a chance to just make them go through this process faster, that's always going to be a good thing rather than a bad thing. Now, let me come back up here really quick. Let's grab some water. We want to move them again. I'm going to put a water bucket right here and a water bucket right here. And now we have water flowing to a central spot. I want to move the zombies this way now. And actually, I just thought of this. I just covered this back up. If we move them this way to a center point, and there's a zombie right here and a zombie right here at the same time, they're actually going to get stuck on each other, and this whole thing's going to jam up until more zombies come down and eventually push them out the way. So one thing we can do to prevent that from happening is we're just going to make one side uneven. You see the water is still flowing this way. You can tell by the way the lines are moving. Now, when a zombie gets here, he'll just flow in. And then when a zombie gets over here, he'll flow in this way. And it should equal out to where they don't get in each other's way. This zombie that's in this position will always go through first. And then the zombie that comes through this way will go through second. But there's something else I want to do. I want to place this block down temporarily. This block down temporarily, just so we don't have to fight the water the whole time, is I want to clear them out of the cap horizontally as well. Remember when I said we could go 8 blocks in this direction? I actually want to do that right now because I'm going to push these zombies back up to get them up here. What we're going to do is we're going to move them 8 blocks in this direction, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to put them the 9th block. That gets them out of our cap. And actually, I'm going to go 11 blocks. That's 10, 11 blocks, because we're going to push them up and then bring them back over some and then eventually drop them down. You'll see what I'm talking about here in just a little bit. It's going to require that we get a couple of different things. So I'm going to go ahead. I want to dig this up here. I'm going to look at our coordinates. Coordinates are useful. You see I'm standing on Z number 840 right here. Y number 1376, negative 1376. So we go over to 1376. We go over here to 840. And if we dig down, boom, there we go. We got our hole, which is awesome. Now we're actually gonna have to do a couple things here to stop water flow as well. I think cobblestone is what I want. No, it is not. We need to get some other block. We're gonna get some oak planks here, and we're gonna make some oak buttons. I don't need this many, but this'll do. This'll do what I need it and want it to do. Because we can actually use a number of different things to block or stop water flow. Some of those things are like solid blocks, right? They won't let mobs or water pass through. But we can use like different blocks. I'm gonna call this button a block for this, that will stop water and will also allow mobs to pass through. So if I knock this out and this out real quick, we see that the water will flow all the way to right here. I'm going to show you guys a pretty cool, pretty nifty little trick. I'm going to put a button right here and a button right here. We need to go up here and get another water source. I'm just going to put that there to get it out of my way. I'm going to put this water source right here. It's going to come and flow down just like that. I'm also going to put 2 buttons right. Oh, is this not what I want to do? I think this is fine. Yeah, this will be okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put a hole right here because we need to make a whole column of water going up this way, because we're going to make our mobs that go through here, we're going to make them go up. Now, I didn't think about this until just now, but one of the things I need to do this farm is I need to go to the nether. I need one specific thing from the nether. We're not doing another episode now. I do have a couple of big nether episodes planned in the near future, but we need some obsidian. Okay, here we are. We found some obsidian. Ooh, a lot of it. Yes, this is the good spot. And you'll remember I put water down on top of lava to turn that into obsidian in the first place. So this is how we're going to collect it. Because we need obsidian for something very specific here. Obsidian is used to make a nether portal. We're going to do a full portal episode later, so I'm not going to explain many of the mechanics now. Just know that we need to get 10 obsidian, and I'm going to put water right here. I'm going to sit here and mine it. It takes quite a while to mine, and the water right there is going to be to save us in case there is any lava down below us. It will automatically fill that in just like that, to where our obsidian that we're trying to pick up doesn't get burned and destroyed, and to where we don't fall into the lava and die ourselves. And 10. Okay, top side, we have our obsidian. We need a way to light our nether portal. Again, we're not going full into mechanics of nether portals today, but we still have to light it. I need to... Where do I have flint at? We need 1 flint, 1 piece of iron, and a crafting table to make ourselves a flint and steel. And I don't have a planned place for this yet, so this is going to be purely temporary. We're just gonna put it right here, I think. Nether portals require 3 vertical blocks, and then 2 on the sides as a minimum size that they have to be able to work. And we light it with the flint and steel, and we could go in. Now, in a brand new world, first time you do go into your nether portal, be super duper careful. I suspect though that since we're close enough to Blue Jay, I don't know if he has another portal over there. I'm thinking he probably does. My guess is we're going to go through this and we'll appear at Blue Jay's nether portal. No clue if it's safe or not. I have not seen any of his nether based episodes, or we could end out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. So I'm a little afraid, maybe afraid enough to where we're even going to be cautious and go in without anything. To do that, we'll just make a chest, single chest. Oh, I already had one on me apparently. We'll plop it down up here and we will just empty our inventory completely. So if we pop through and for some weird crazy reason we just insta die, we'll be okay. We won't lose anything. All right, let's see what we get. Okay, this is about as safe as you can get. Again, I don't know if this is like a Blue Jay nether portal or not. I do know that we're in a basalt delta biome because of the little swirly stuff, and there's some basalt right there. We need to find soul sand. That's all we need. It's a little bit of soul, 1 piece of soul sand actually. And I'm gonna get lost in here. I can just feel it. All right, let's do this. Let's go back through the portal. We'll see if it takes us to our base or Blue Jay's base. And we can put our stuff back on, and I can go find the soul sand. Where are we? Huh? Okay, I think this is this Blue Jay's mountain? Yeah, yep. Did he make that there? Oh. Look, he had a portal right here that he broke at some point. Okay, this will be slightly inconvenient, but we'll worry about portal linking and all of the goodness that goes along with that when we get to nether portals. For now, I'm going to put my stuff back on and grab the soul sand and hopefully not die in the process. Okay, this took a lot longer than I thought. And let me tell you, this nether is extremely dangerous. Again, we'll go over that in the future, but I got my 1 soul sand like down at the bottom of the world, so I'm done here. Now that we have our piece of soul sand, there's one more thing that I need to grab, and that is some kelp. Kelp can be found in your oceans, so we're gonna go down here. It should be pretty easy to grab, and I'll show you why. It's actually going to help us with making our little water chute that's going to shoot the mobs up the water elevator. Here we go. I think this is being classified as river, maybe. I don't see any kelp. It's super easy to spot. It's just like an incredibly tall plant that grows from the bottom of the ocean floor. So we're just going to go out here a little ways, and I imagine we're going to see it somewhere right out here. Okay, I had to go out a little ways. I do see it, though. It's right there. We're not going to need a ton of it. You can also replant it to grow more if you want to. But it's pretty easy to harvest. Oh, I'm going to stay away from that trident guy. Those are drowned. They spawn in water. The trident dudes, they hurt quite a bit. Until you get like late game with enchanted armor and stuff, I would stay away from them. As I was about to say though, it's super easy to harvest. Just go through, knock it down from like the second lowest. That way it has the chance to regrow. And then once you knock a few up, just go up to the top, collect it all. It'll all go up to the top on its own. And then take that back to your spawner area. All right, we have the kelp. And here's what I want to do. I want to make killing these zombies pretty easy, I think. And one way we can do that is we can cause damage to them before we ever have to swing our sword. So what that's going to entail is I don't just want to bring the zombies up to right here and kill them right here. Instead, I want to send them up higher, send them over by 2 blocks, and then drop them down to a spot right here. If I drop them down right here to where they almost die, Then I can either hit them with the sword or even just punch them if I wanted to. Although eventually we'll have looting, which is an enchantment on our sword. We'll want to potentially use that. I mean, zombies don't really drop a lot of good stuff, so it might not be necessary. We really just want the XP. But I do want to take almost all of their life. So I think to do that, if I can remember correctly, and I don't know if I am or not, I think we want to drop them about 21 blocks. Maybe. Let me look that up. This is actually a good time to teach you something else. So I have the wiki pulled up here, and players and zombies and all mobs, your health is represented by hearts. Now every half of a heart is 1 health. And what we can do is we can look here and we see health points for a zombie, adult or baby is 20. So 20 health, 10 hearts. Now, for every block that you fall past 3 blocks, you lose a health. So this is a 1, 2, 3 block drop. We don't lose any health, right? But if we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 block drop, we lose half of a heart. So what we want to do is we want this zombie to lose 19 health on the drop. So 19 plus the 3 that's built in where you don't take any damage, 22. So 22 blocks is how far I believe we want to drop these guys. So what I'm going to do is, you see I'm at Y level 119 right now. We want to go up 22 blocks. So we're going to use a little bit of simple math here. 119 plus 22 equals 131. We want to dig up to Y level 131. And then move over 2 blocks and then dig down until we get ourselves right back down here. Remember when I said simple math? It's 141, not 131. Never math while recording or on stream. It's a rule for content creators. Okay, we're at the 141 mark. We're now going to go over by 1, by 2, and we're going to dig back down here. I know I'm going to need a couple buttons here. I'm going to place them now. We're going to have the water come up this high and then flow over. So we're going to put a button right here. That'll stop it from flowing here, and then the zombie will just kind of come over and plop down, which I'll show you here in just a few moments. Okay, now I need to get water all the way up there and allow it to flow down. We are no longer going to need this little gap right here, so I can fill that in. We're going to pillar back up. We're going to put a water bucket at the top, and we're going to swim down and then place our kelp going all the way back up to the top. So I'm going to put water right here. You see it's going to flow down and forward. This is what we want. Now, the reason why we use kelp, I'm going to show you. We're going to take our soul sand block all the way down here. And when I swim down, I'm going to hit the sprint button. That will allow me to swim down faster. We're going to watch a little water bubbles to make sure that we don't drown. We're good. We didn't even come close. Now, I'm going to put my soul sand block right here. Now, this will end up creating a bubble column that goes up and pushes me up. But it's not doing that right now because this is actually all flowing water. It only does that to water that is a water source. We can actually make this a water source by placing down kelp. When you place kelp in flowing water column like this, it turns into a water source. We have the buttons here because we need to block this off to allow this to become a water source that isn't flowing. So what I should... And actually, I did just forget this, but you can't place kelp on soul sand. So we got to go through, place the kelp here first, just by swimming up. There we go. We got it all the way to the top. Now we can swim back down to the bottom, like so. We can knock out that bottom piece of kelp. We can place down our soul sand, and now we have a bubble column going all the way up. The zombies, there's going to be one that gets right here. He's going to be stuck. He's not going to be able to do anything. But the next zombie that comes in will push him into here, and then he will shoot up like this, and the water will move him over, and then he'll fall down here, down this hole. And he will end up right here. I think if he falls down and lands right here, he will still have a half of a heart left. If for some reason I miscalculated and he doesn't, we can move it up by a block, and then we'll be good. Now we need a couple of final things to get this functional. We need a hopper and a chest, and we have not done anything with redstone yet. A hopper is a redstone component, one of the most simple ones that you can possibly have, and it's super easy to make. You just need a little bit of iron. We have Plenty of iron here. We have not yet smelted. So we're going to smelt this iron down. And then while I wait for that, I'm going to make a chest. And actually, I'm going to make 3 chests. We need a double chest. And then we need 1 single chest. And we need 5 iron, which we now have. And we're going to take this over here. We're going to make 1 hopper. And I think I'm going to want a carpet. I'll show you why we want the carpet once we get over here. I think it's going to matter. But before we set this up, let me show you how a hopper works. You can have something for storage, like say a chest. You can have a hopper going into that chest. Whenever anything falls on that hopper, it goes into the hopper. It goes into the hopper's inventory, and the hopper pushes it into the chest. Now, a hopper can pick up anything from having nothing on top of it all the way up to anything smaller than a full-size block. Any smaller than a full-size block. It doesn't matter if it's just 1 little pixel less. A full-size block, it's not going to be able to pick it up. If I go up here and throw something down, it does not pick that up. If I put a carpet on top of it, it does pick it up, as you can see. Now, the reason I'm going to use the carpet, I think, is because you'll notice here that if I stand right in the middle of the hopper, you see how I dip down in it a little bit? That makes the drop a little bit further, and I think it'll kill our zombies. We don't want the zombies to die. So, or at least not that way. So, what we'll do is we'll pick these guys up. We will go right here. We're going to place the double chest down first. Then we place the hopper down facing into the back of double chest. We're going to have to jump while we hold crouch to do it. There we go. And we place the carpet right here. Now, the zombies can get out the way this thing is set up right now. Now, we're going to decorate this later. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take something like just a full block, a whole block. We'll put it right here. And then I'm going to put a trap door. It could be anywhere here. We'll just place it right here. This will allow me to hit the mobs that are there pretty easily. But at the same time, they can't get out. If I didn't have this trapdoor here, baby zombies would be able to get out of here. We don't want that. That's bad. We put this here, the baby zombies can't get out. So I think this will do the trick. I think we're probably going to modify this to look a lot better here in the near future. But for now, this allows us to open our chest, and it allows those zombies, those baby zombies, to drop down. We have to do a couple of final, like, basic things here. We need to make this room dark. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit while we take out some of these torches here. Hopefully we don't get spawned on. Take that out, and then we need to take these out too. And there's one other thing I gotta do before we turn this spawner on that I didn't show you guys yet, which is this space above the spawner. A zombie can spawn up top here, and it can land on top of the spawner. We don't want that, so we're gonna do this, and when I break this, I think some zombies might spawn. Nope, not yet. We're gonna knock this out. We're gonna knock this out. You see, we have some zombies spawning. Now, the rate at which this is spawning mobs is actually gonna be a little... Oh, no. We need to go back down there. Hello, Mr. Zombie. All right, let's get rid of this. There we go. Okay, now let's try that again. Now, if I break this... Ooh, we had a zombie villager spawn. We're gonna talk about those guys later. They're really nice to save and have. If we wait a little bit of time, he should work his way down. Oh, we'll need more spawns. While we wait for those more spawns, I'm gonna just start blocking some of this area off for the light. That one right there might push that other one into the water stream. We need to block off our light from coming in here. Oh, he took 3 hits. So that means he had 1.5 hearts. We need to drop them 2 more blocks. We need to drop them 2 more blocks. That means that water stream we did, I need to make it 2 blocks higher. That's easy enough to do. I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera, and then we'll bring you guys back in. Okay, let's try this again. All right, should be dropping down any moment. And he died. I don't understand. Okay, we're gonna go with the easy fix. Raise it up by a block. Interesting. They're requiring 2 punches to kill. But if I let them drop to right there, they just die. I can't explain why that is. It's not supposed to work that way, at least not to my knowledge, but it's fine. We'll put the extra block in right here, and the problem will be solved. So now, just to see and test one more thing, I blocked this off so it's totally dark. I want to see and make sure that we're able to get more than 6 mobs here. In theory, we should be able to sit here and stack dozens of mobs. Really, if you AFK here for too long, you sit here for too long, you can actually break your world because the mobs will keep spawning. There is no spawn limit that stops them. So let's see what happens if we get a whole lot of them here. And while we wait for that, I want to explain one last thing to you, one last mechanic. Let me get rid of some of the light out here just to better be able to display this for you. Is if I pop in here and look, you see that this spawner, you see the fire, right? The fire of the spawner. If you get too far away from a spawner, it deactivates. That distance is 15 blocks. So wherever you drop your mobs, I like to keep them nice and close because I like to see the spawner. It's just fun to me. But if you move those mobs too far away, up or down or side to side, more than 15 blocks in a sphere around it, then it's going to shut the spawner off. It's not going to spawn anymore. So just something that's important for you to remember. Let's keep an eye on this. I'm just going to break all of this stuff here. I just want to see that these mobs are still continuously spawning, even though we have a bunch in here. We should see this thing continue to spawn mobs. It's impossible to tell how many are in there at this point, but that should be 9 blocks away right there. So it should just keep spawning them. Yeah. Yep, we're good. Because this is definitely, see how many this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we forgot to put our carpet back on top of there. The XP can get stuck in there, so it's good. It actually helps to have the carpet there for XP too. Now, this area is totally functional, so I can just sit here and keep spawning mobs in and keep getting XP, but we need a reason to get that XP. So I think what's going to happen is in the next episode, I think we're going to focus on just building this thing up. I want to do a little bit of decorating inside of here. I want to be able to look inside of here. We're going to probably go search out an amethyst geode. I'm going to teach you guys about those. And that we're just going to make this area look really cool. I don't know what type of design we're going to go with yet. We'll figure that out when we're in the episode. And we're going to make sure we give ourselves enough space to add an enchanting table setup, because the episode after next, we're going to go over enchanting tables and maybe go over XP in a little bit more detail as well. But for now, I think this will do it for today's episode. If you have any tips or tricks that you think I may have missed, let me know down in the comment section below. If you're still watching, you have to hit the like button. It helps the channel out a ton. The more likes the video gets, the more people to see it. It's that simple. It's a great donation. Like button, press it, do it. I love you guys. You're awesome. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.